I thank the honourable member for his contribution to the debate. I now give the floor to the Minister for Agriculture, Rural and Maritime Development, Waterways and Environment, the Honourable Dr. Mahendra Reddy. You have the floor.
Honourable Speaker Sir, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of the Parliament. Honourable Speaker Sir, I rise to join all my colleagues from the government side and some members on the opposition side who have spoken before me today in commending the Honourable Minister for Economy and his team for a comprehensive and forward-looking 2019 and 2020 national budget. Honourable Speaker, I support the allocation package, the policy prescription, the intention of the budget to deal with current realities and his vision to secure our nation a sustainable future. Honourable Speaker, before I continue, I just want to respond quickly to some of the comments made yesterday. Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Rambuka, mentioned made a number of comments which are incorrect. One, he said that in 2009, the difference between imports and exports was 1.5 billion, and today it is risen to 3.3 billion. That's not correct. The trade deficit today is 562 million, the 2018 figure. We should, when you provide numbers in this House, Honourable Speaker, we need to ensure that we have correct numbers. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Rambuka stated that agriculture is declining because its contribution has declined from 10% to 6%. That's totally incorrect. And unfortunately, I think they're still, they can't recall the explanation I gave earlier on, is that when the proportion of a particular sector is declining, that doesn't mean the sector is stagnant or sector is declining. It can also mean that the other sectors are growing at a rate much higher than this sector. That is why the proportion of contribution of this sector, basic statistics. I can show you numbers that the agriculture sector has not declined. Its contribution has declined because the other sectors are growing at a rate higher than this sector. Number three, Honourable Rambuka said that in 2007, the Rural and Outer Island program was cancelled. First he said that the ROI program doesn't exist. We said, no, that's not true. The ROI program exists. Then he said, no, in 2007 it was not there. No, in 2007 it was there, $14 million was there. Now we again have a ROI program last year and in this budget as well. Allocation for ROI in the estimate. Please have a look at it. Page 181. The estimate is there right in front of you. Again, factually incorrect information to this House. Number 4, Honourable Leader of Opposition noted that 800,000 allocation is not sufficient for food security program. Honourable Speaker there are a number of allocations that has food security dimension to it. If you look at this, the proposed budget, a total of $1.8 million is parked for food security programs. So again, incorrect information, total understatement. Number 5, Honourable Speaker said that we need to move to commercial agriculture. Honourable Speaker I have spoken in this Parliament a number of times that the entire focus of the ministry is commercial agriculture. In fact, the last time I defined clearly what does a commercial farmer is, who is a commercial farmer, what is commercial agriculture, and the 3 key attributes. One is that you grow for the market. Number 2 is that you create surplus. Number 3 is that you reinvest in the surplus so you can grow annually every year. And of course, you're part of a competitive market. And that's what we're trying to do is, we're saying, we're going out throughout, and I'm going to talk about in my address about the commercial agriculture dimension. So Honourable Speaker, what I want to say is that, look, we need to, in this House, when you come, we need to ensure that we use correct information, correct data, because people are watching us. This is the highest House. We make policies that will affect every individual in this country. Honourable Speaker Honourable Kurundari made some statement yesterday, again factually incorrect. He said that the ministry's budget, there's a decline by 21.1 million, and therefore it will be a problem with service delivery. Honourable Speaker, I'm going to talk about that in my address now. Over the years, due to incremental budgeting philosophy, there's a lot of fat that has been built up in various ministries, and this was the opportune time. And it was a lot of gut by any economy minister to go and remove those fat out there. That's what has happened this time around. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kurandari also mentioned that, the 2009 agriculture census where the number of farmers have declined. Look, Honorable Speaker, we should look at number of farmers. We should look at the size of agriculture, size of land or area of land under agriculture. What is happening? Whether the area of land under agriculture is declining. Numbers over time will decline. We want to consolidate. Look at China. They made a major agriculture reform where to bring in mechanized agriculture, they reduce the small holdings. They pull people out of the rural agriculture sector to urban area so that small farms could be consolidated. They don't understand, Honorable Speaker. They don't understand. They're looking at number of farmers. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kurandari said that the coconut industry has been in existence since independence and not much allocation has been given. Honorable Speaker, we have got major allocations for the coconut, both from the ministry as well as for Coconut Industry Development Board. 2015, the budget allocation was 300,000. Now we have got 750,000. What is the matter with them? Why aren't they reading the budget estimate? They're coming to this house, the thick document out there, they don't read it, someone writes for them, they come and regurgitate here. Honorable Speaker, the honorable member mentioned about that the livestock sector is declining. Of course, we've been mentioning that the livestock sector has been declining because of brucellosis and TB. Of course, we want to eradicate that, and therefore the number of animals, number of heads will decline. And we want to clean up. We want to clean up and then introduce new high-yielding breeds. Honorable Speaker said we can't introduce high-yielding breeds now because they will also get infected with brucellosis and TB. They can't get it. Honorable Speaker, the honorable member Kurandari said that no survey was done by agricultural officers. Honorable Speaker, again incorrect information. Survey was conducted by agricultural officers in proper consultation with Turunganikora and advisory councillors. The agricultural officers conducted a survey in Kandavu. I don't know why he can't come and ask us, get clarification before he comes in and gives us information in his house. Honorable Speaker, as I said, I support the allocation package, the policy prescriptions and the intentions of the budget to deal with the current realities and its vision to secure a national sustainable future for the country. Honorable Speaker said there are many institutions in Fiji who have applauded the budget and its architect, our Minister of Economy, for his ability to understand the local and global economy well, noting the aspirations of Fijians, listening to the calls to have a brighter future, wanting to be part of our collective journey to grow Fiji, and for understanding the requirements of private sector. Honorable Speaker, this is what our Honorable Minister of Economy has done to deliver this package, or expenditure package, with the supporting policy announcements. Mr. Speaker, the Fiji Institute of Accountants welcomed the national budget with lots of positivity. They noted that the budget considers the interests of the much wider community, and they congratulated the government for delivery of a realistic and practical budget. Honorable Speaker, number of economists within and outside Fiji also commended the budget. Unfortunately, few out there, at USP are continuing to attack the budget. Honorable Speaker said, an academic is a person whom the society looks up very highly. Honorable Speaker said, whenever a statement is made by an academic, whenever an academic makes a statement, Honorable Speaker said, it should be based on research, logic, and reasoning, because you're gonna direct the society in that particular course. It's unfortunate that some of the economists are making statements without proper research, logic, and reasoning. Honorable Speaker said, Honorable Prasad said that the global economy is not shrinking, it's growing. Look, on 10th April 2019, IMF chief economist said that the global economy has entered a synchronized slowdown. We are now in a significantly weakened global expansion. Honorable Speaker said, a NZ economist based in Sydney, Kirsty Sen, has applauded the budget, saying that it's the right budget to deal with the local and global scenarios. Where are we, Honorable Speaker said?
Order. You have the floor.
Honorable Speaker said, we have had a prodigious economic growth in the last decade. arguably one of the most productive decades in the Fijian history. It has marked the progress, development, prosperity of our people. Mr. Speaker said, government over the years has been successful in modernizing our country through reviewing and strengthening archaic legislation, setting an enabling environment for prosperous Fiji, taking global leadership in climate change and protecting our natural environment at home, empowering all Fijians through inclusive and vibrant social policies, driving technology innovation through digital transformation, maneuvering our nation in times of global climatic and economic uncertainty. However, going forward, this budget has been delivered at a time when we are facing numerous challenges. This included, not limited to, a tight and subdued global economic scenario, increased frequency of occurrence of natural disasters, and its impact on our economies. Given the challenges listed above, through careful guidance from our leadership, we have tackled this great valor. We have never let this externality deter us from achieving this great feat. Mr. Speaker said, the true quality of a versatile leader is maneuvering his people, his country in an era where we are forced by uncertainty, whether it is climatic or economic. Our Honourable Prime Minister has rightly done that and has delivered a decade of economic expansion in the last decade, rightly called the Banimanama boom. Mr. Speaker said, sadly yesterday I noted some members on the opposition side, opposition bench passing snide remark to the Honourable Prime Minister that he doesn't understand the meaning of GDP. Honourable Speaker said, in 2010, when I was the chairman of Commerce Commission, I was invited by the then Minister for Trade, Honourable Syed Kayum, to present to the then interim government on telecommunications internet interconnection rates. Following the presentation, the Honourable Prime Minister asked me to explain on telecommunications sector contribution to economy. I explained to him the employment dimension and how communications, local and international, is important to the economy. He then asked me of the sectors, the telecommunication sector's contribution to overall gross domestic product. Mr. Speaker said, if the Honourable Prime Minister then knew about GDP, then I'm sure he knows about it back to front now. Mr. Speaker said, there is no one in this House who has more knowledge than Honourable Prime Minister on climate change, its impact on national output, our gross domestic product. He has made a case on this at the world's highest forum over the last 3 years, and given his contribution, he is one of the most sought after leaders even now. Honourable Speaker said, given his contribution to climate change and environment, for the first time ever, Fiji was invited to attend the G7 Environment Ministers meeting in Metz, France a month ago. Fiji was the only country amongst the Pacific Island countries to be invited to be part of the G7 Plus Environment Ministers meeting. Honourable Speaker said, you combine all the wisdom and knowledge on the other side on practical economics, it will still be less than what Honourable Bainimarama has. Honourable Speaker said, I urge the members, Honourable Bulitabo in particular, that don't make those kind of snide remarks. He knows more than you about gross domestic product. Honourable Speaker said, students of governance, international relations, national security, race relations, leadership and development economics often line up at his office to interview him, given his wisdom on these areas. You also line up there too. Honourable Speaker said, I humbly ask the members from the other side to respect integrity of this House and show respect to the Prime Minister of this country. Mr. Speaker said, I also noted personal attacks being made on our Honourable Minister for Economy yesterday. Mr. Honourable Bulana Uda called him by the name Kayum. Honourable Speaker said, Honourable Syed Kayum is our Attorney General, our Minister for Justice and Economy. We ought to give him that respect. He is like our Prime Minister and other ministers, like your good self, sacrificing a lot for this country. In the history of the country, he is the best finance and economy minister we have ever had. While on one hand, some members on the other side are hell-bent on spreading doom and gloom on the economy, our Honourable Minister for Economy has worked day and night to deliver a budget commensurate with the needs of contemporary Fiji. Honourable Speaker said we need to think beyond the standard budget-making templates. We need to be pragmatic, we need to be realistic, we should not lose sight of the economy, sight of our ordinary Fijians who only hope is government. Therein lies the difference between Honourable Syed Kayum and previous finance ministers. Honourable Speaker said this expenditure plan offered in the budget has removed all the fat that had built in over years due to incremental budgeting, provided increased allocation to areas which has potential to accelerate economic growth, provided for new allocations which has potential to increase national income, that at the same time adding new income to households and factor owners, provided a much needed and sought after enabling environment for business development and surplus creation, be it in the service sector, the commercial sector, industrial or primary sectors such as agriculture, fisheries and forestry. Mr. Speaker said, we are tasked to address inequalities that exist in our country, grow those sectors of the economy that has the potential to do so, and use a proportion of those surplus to assist the poor, the marginalized to grow and achieve their aspirations, while at the same time provide for public goods and supporting infrastructure for the economy to grow and security for all. Mr. Speaker said, there could not be any better expenditure bundle and policy announcement than what has been presented by Honourable Minister of Economy, and I once again thank him for his intellectual contribution. Honourable Speaker say, my colleagues have spoken on my colleague Honourable Singarara will speak on rural and maritime development portfolio. My colleague Honourable Vyam Pillai has spoken on plastics, environment and agriculture as well. I will speak on agriculture. Honourable Speaker said, Ministry of Agriculture is grateful for the allocation of 78.7 million in the budget. Honourable Speaker say, in addition to budget reallocation, Ministry will also receive 9.6 million in donor funding. Honourable Speaker said the Ministry of Agriculture has finalised a strategic development plan for the years 2019 to 2023. The strategic plan priority areas in this important document is aligned with the National Development Plan with emphasis to achieve Sustainable Development Goals 2030. The Ministry will implement the vision of the strategic plan through the following strategic priorities: improve food production and nutrition security, increase farmer household income, improve the adoption of sustainable resource management and climate-smart agriculture, establish and improve commercial agriculture by addressing farmer accessibility to available financial services, improve the value chain, and give market signals to farmers to produce and supply. Honourable Speaker said, this forward-looking and progressive plan will allow for the review and inclusion of new ideas over time. Honourable Speaker said, we plan also to support several new initiatives introduced by the Ministry of Agriculture in the last financial year, whereby the Ministry of Agriculture will engage on the incubation program for young farmers, optimizing the use of Juncow grass to enhance livestock production, upscaling pulse seed production to curb its ever-increasing import bill, establishment of fruit tree orchards, encouraging backyard gardening to our urban and rural communities, and growing and expanding agriculture undertaken for the market, that is commercial agriculture. Mr. Speaker say we are committed to replicate this initiative throughout the Ministry's decision-making process to ensure timely administration of financial management. Mr. Speaker said the Ministry looks forward to further improve Fiji's agriculture statistical system through the allocation of 4.5 million for the conduct of 2020 National Agriculture Census. Honourable Mr. Speaker said, in addition to the above allocation, allow me to highlight the key livestock programs which will positively impact food production and income security. A total of $11.5 million have been allocated for the animal health and livestock program. The focus of this program is to improve infrastructure, increase and sustain stock numbers while curbing the incidence of animal diseases, as I've alluded to earlier on, Mr. Speaker said. The Speaker said, as I've alluded to earlier on, we have got a major program for brucellosis and tuberculosis eradication, and this is basically undertaken to ensure that we clean up the existing stock that we have so that we can introduce high-yielding breeds of cattle, both dairy and beef, into the sector to increase productivity and also expand our agriculture sector. Mr. Speaker said we got an extensive crop extension program with a budget of $12.5 million, and we are looking at basically supporting the commercial agriculture program that we have in the ministry. Mr. Speaker said we also have a crop research program, as alluded to by Honourable Vyam Pillai. Basically, the research objective is to improve quality seed production, development of high varieties of crop, as well as high breeds of cattle and livestock. Honourable Speaker said I now turn to waterways and environment for a brief overview. Mr. Speaker said from the day this government took office, we have evidence of commitment to putting the well-being of our environment for the current and future generations at the heart of everything we do. The budget 2019 to 20 just shows that we are delivering on that commitment. We have measured and focused on what our people value, a protected, healthy people, an environment and stronger communities, and a prosperous Fiji. Success for us is ensuring Fiji continues to be both an exceptional place to make a living and an exceptional place to make a life. Speaker said the budget is weighed with government's commitment to safeguarding our national environment through an integrated, expedient process, ensuring that development does not come at the cost of our environment. Mr. Speaker, I'm privileged to be part of a government that does things differently. The move to ban single-use plastic bags in 7 months, increasing the duty on plastic bags, introduction of environmental and climate adaptation levy, these are all the right steps in securing our environment and mobilizing public finance for the project. Mr. Speaker, amongst the waterways project, we have got major allocations for rural drainage, for rural residential drainage, for dredging of rivers, and protecting our communities from adverse effects of climate change. Mr. Speaker, we look forward to implementing the budget and quite excited about it. Thank you, Naka.
Honourable members, I thank the Minister for his contribution to the debate, and I now have the pleasure of giving the floor to the Honourable Dr. Felipe Duiswald. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The Honourable Prime Minister, members of the government, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, and members of the Opposition, and members of the public in the gallery, and those who are watching these proceedings. Firstly, I'd like to thank all the honourable members for the contribution. I think it's very critical